Scott, welcome to the Creators Copywriting Brigade. You're one I'd love to talk to because you've written several books, you've directed films, so you're in the weeds with writing. So this is going to be a 2-question interview. The first question is going to be like 1 or 2 minutes, and then the second question is going to be the meat and potatoes, kind of 7 minutes. We'll get into that in a second. But the first question is just, why do you love writing? Like, what got you into writing?
Thanks for having me, Jeremy. Happy to be here. I love writing mostly because I sit down and I stand up and 12 hours have gone by. That's
Mm.
that happens a lot. And to me, there's not a lot of things that give me that experience, and I really would call it joy. I can sit down at a piano and go into a time warp, or I can sit down and start writing and go into a time warp. And I think it's a flow state. And it's a bit of a selfish answer because it just honestly fulfills me in a lot of different ways, mentally, even emotionally. So anything that can make me forget where I am and forget to go up and go to the bathroom or grab a sandwich or something for 12 hours, that's something I'm going to dig. And that's what writing gives to me.
That's super cool. Yeah, I could see how like writing kind of take you in another world and kind of help you get into a flow state. I know you're writing a book right now on Solana, which is really interesting because crypto's gone all super. It's not a crypto show, but I'm a crypto fan, and I know that the markets have gone crazy. Bitcoin hit like 100K. You have this really cool book on Solana with these NFT characters. Some of the times, like a book might be, I don't know, 300 pages. I don't know how many characters are on this book, but it's like a big piece of work.
Yeah.
How do you like this second part of the question basically is like, can you teach us something that basically allows us to kind of like help us as writers become better? And you have a technique that condenses some of this kind of bigger picture into like a smaller idea. Could you explain that?
Sure, sure. So the first book I wrote that, was picked up by a major publisher and stuff, I thought the subject matter was so fascinating and I loved every little nook and cranny of it that I wrote 1,000 pages. Um, was The publisher got me this amazing editor, thank God, and we chopped it down to like 100 something pages and then expanded it back up to about 300. And I learned a very valuable lesson, right? Like it taught me about outlining,
Mhm.
right? But since then, in the work I've done writing for myself and writing for other people, and especially now when people come to me and they consult and they ask me to advise them on their memoir or their whistleblower nonfiction story or their novel or their screenplay, like I don't care what it is, it's a piece of long form. I've come around to this idea of the one word theme. Can you, as a starting place, can you define the theme of your work in one word?
Mm.
It's not easy. It's actually quite hard, and I really adhere to this now. When people come to me asking for advice on their books and stuff, I've got a woman who's a politician who I'm helping her with her memoir, and she has so many incredible stories to tell. Amazing. Like you could write 10 books out of this woman's experience, right? And you, Jeremy, could write a book as a skateboarder, as a snowboarder, as a social media professional, as a podcaster, as a son, as a boyfriend. You know what I mean? Like there's so
Mhm.
many books in us that I've come around to. I used to think, boy, what if we had this really cool chase scene and there's a helicopter and the guy jumps out of the and the imagined stories from exciting scene to exciting scene, right? And then you start hearing people talk about, oh, the characters are what drive the story. It took me a while to come around to that, but it's actually true. Because people remember characters, they care about characters. What's the good of a story if they don't care about the characters, right? And how do you care about the characters? You throw stuff at them like knives and spoons and stuff, and they avoid them and they learn lessons. But it all comes back to the theme. So I started realizing theme begets character and character begets story. You don't have a story unless you've got a character who has a transformation. Well, how do you put a handle on that transformation? You decide what your theme is and you stick to it, right? So coming back around to the one word theme, like this book that I'm writing, that takes place inside the Solana blockchain, right? And it's got as characters human beings, but it's also got NFTs as characters, apes and raccoons and lizards. And And how do you tell a story that it's kind of like Wreck-It Ralph is inside video games. I'm inside the blockchain with these characters, describing to people the basics of crypto through a fun adventure story, right? And I've got a human being story and I've got an NFT story, and they have to all somehow merge and coincide and drift inside each other and twist like strands of DNA, right? This is my newest thing I'm working on, so I apply my new philosophy to it, the one word theme, right? What's the theme? I came up with the theme of community. So how does that? Because that's one of the things I love about crypto and blockchain and Web3 is you find like-minded people across the planet and you become friends with them, whether it's on X or Discord or whatever. You go to real life meetings, right? It's a community of friends that have something in common, right? And I've gotten a lot of enjoyment out of that, and I wanted the core of this book to be about sharing that with people. So I said it's going to be about community, and I actually that evolved into the word family because I think the word family is more evocative than community. It's like I started realizing you can. I mean, my father used to say, "You can pick your friends, and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose," right? And that means nothing, but it's like you can choose your family these days. You can choose who your family is. So I started with that word family, and it informed what my main character's arc was.
Mm.
He goes from being selfish to realizing the value of family. Um, and the bad guy is somebody who does not value family. They're selfish. What's the opposite of family? It's being alone, not caring about other people, not supporting them, not taking responsibility for helping them and not doing them wrong, right? So that's how and what it does is it stops you from writing a whole bunch of crap that doesn't belong in this particular piece of material, whether it's a book or it's a LinkedIn post. I don't care. It's like if you have a theme that's one word and all of your characters are like planets circling that sun, they are a reflection of the theme in one way or the other. Like this good guy character over here is all about family, you know, and that is a mentor for the main character. This character over here chooses selfishness over selflessness, and they get their comeuppance as a result of it. So by narrowing my theme down to one word, it makes me not write fluff. It makes me not go off on a tangent. And it makes me realize if there's I've cut chapters out of this book because I wrote them and I look back at them and I said, now how does that forward the theme?
Mm.
And if it doesn't relate to it, you know what? I'm sorry, but you gotta go, bro. You don't belong. You gotta go. Not a very family friendly thing, but that scene might belong in another book somewhere.
That's really
So
interesting. It seems like too with like such, I don't know, high tech stuff like blockchain and just stuff that's super technical. It's interesting that it came back to just like family in a few words, and it seems like it keeps it super tight, the narrative. So
yeah,
I could see like I don't know, has it helped to you as far as like last question? Has it helped a lot since that's so like kind of tech heavy and like blockchain and like decentralized networks and all this kind of stuff? Like to go back into like, hey, what is this? Like, what is the human element of this?
I think absolutely. And that's one of the reasons I was happy to have this book be about the concept of family because I'm trying to take these, you know, I'm trying to take the world of crypto and blockchain and tell a fun story that you would enjoy as if watching The Simpsons redo Lord of the Rings, right?
Right.
But these are some heady subject matter, like what is and I go through it, man. Like what is blockchain? What is a block? What is a chain? What is a validator? What is Web3? What is Bitcoin? What is a meme coin? What does it mean for a crypto scam? Like what are crypto scams? How do you avoid them? And it's grounded in a love story about family, so you make it accessible to people, you put it inside a structure that they recognize, like love story is central to the book and this main character's relationship with the concept of family. and that keeps it grounded. It keeps it human. And people subliminally they recognize the beats of the story. They've seen them before, but I flesh out that skeleton with all this crypto stuff that hopefully they process and understand and want to process a little bit more, because they're really reading about family and relationships and stuff.
Love it. I think it's super cool. So if people want to buy a copy of the book, where do they go? And like, when does it come out? Like, what's all the details?
Yeah, man, thanks. Go to greaterfoolsbook.com. The name of the book is Greater Fools, which itself is about family, right? The concept of Greater Fools is I'm going to buy something so that I can sell it to some knucklehead behind me who's going to pay more.
Mm-hmm.
That's, that is not the theme of the book, if you know what I mean. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's not player versus player, it's player pump player. It's a rising tide lifts all boats, right? So greaterfoolsbook.com. If you go there now, you can pre-order the book. I'm just finishing up the final stages of editing. So you can buy it at a discount right now as a pre-sale. You will get a bonus collectible ebook of the first 69 pages immediately. And then in June, you're going to get the full book delivered to you. So, and the price is lower now than it will be in the future. So please go and buy it.
Yeah, and if you happen to be a movie director, just hit up Scott and make this a film, because it sounds like it'd be a really cool film.
Thanks, man. That's the goal.